Well, the state's longest-serving governor died today in his Gonzales home, surrounded by family and friends. His 93 years had highs, lows, and some controversy in the public eye as he made his lifelong bid for public office.
Political reporter Shannon Heck joins us live from the place Edwards worked in for so many years to give us a look at how the man from Crowley went on to change Louisiana history.
Yeah, it's been just a week since the former governor began at-home hospice care after multiple visits to the hospital, but now the state is reflecting on the lasting legacy that he's leaving behind.
That's it. It's time for a big shot.
To some, he was Fast Eddie.
Don't you tell your boyfriend about this now.
To others, the Silver Fox.
Up with skirts and down with paints.
No matter how the public felt about him, the former governor made an impact one way or another. Edwin Washington Edwards will go down in history for shaping Louisiana in his 4 terms as governor, and his many extracurricular affairs will live on in the stories they inspired. The son of a Catholic midwife and Presbyterian sharecropper, he had dreams of running the state from a young age.
When I was 14 years old, I told my girlfriend I was going to run for governor.
Mother said that when he was about 7 years old, he got to acting up and playing a clown at a party or some gathering, and she said, and I had to get him to quiet down. I grabbed him by the ear and took him out on the front porch to give him a, talking to. And she said, when I finished, he looked up at me and said, "You're not going to do that one of these days when I'm governor." 7 years old.
In 1972, after serving on the Crowley City Council, the Louisiana State Senate, and the U.S. House of Representatives, he found his home in the governor's mansion.
The first thing we did legislatively was writing a new constitution.
The 1973 Constitutional Convention streamlined Louisiana's charter from more than 200 agencies to 15.
There's one thing he was extremely good at, and that was delegation.
He got the state to cash in on the 1970s oil boom by swapping its crude oil tax from flat volume to taking a percentage. Much of that new money would go towards social programs in the state. In 1985, he encouraged car dealer Tom Benson to buy the New Orleans Saints to keep the team from leaving town to Florida.
I'm kind of funny fella. I'm serious in a lot of ways and do my work and do my job. That's why I was reelected so many times. But on the other hand, every now and then I like to say things to try to be funny, to try to get attention.
Edwards never missed a moment to throw out a zinger.
But I'm going to give you the true facts.
The governor's one-liners helped him get 4 terms.
Most of you that have to get out from under the sheets.
But long before Edwards won his final term in office, federal prosecutors had their sights set on him. By his own count, Edwards was the subject of 24 criminal investigations, and he faced 265 years in prison in 1985 for an alleged scheme giving preferred treatment to companies working with state hospitals.
It is a difficult time for me, and it's a difficult time for the state, but I've been through difficult times before.
That case ended with a mistrial and then an acquittal. Finally, in 2000, a jury convicted Edwards of extorting nearly $3 million from casino applicants.
Of course, everybody has regrets. Some things I could have done better, some things I shouldn't have done.
Edwards spent the rest of his life denying the charges, including the 8 years he spent in federal prison. By 2011, he was also on to his 3rd marriage.
When I first met him, I think that was probably the first time that I understood what charismatic really was.
Trina Grimes Scott started writing to Edwards during his prison term. He was 83 and she was 32. And on the week of his 86th birthday, Edwards became a father once again.
I have 4 children, all of whom are over 60 years old. When my first children were born, I was very occupied as a lawyer and a politician, and I really didn't spend as much time with them as I should have. But I'm making it up with Eli.
Back in 2019, Edwin Washington Edwards said that he hoped that Eli Wallace Edwards' familiar initials would someday serve him well.
Trina, of course, is very optimistic. She has a shirt made for him, EWE for Governor 2053. You can probably vote for him. I won't be able to be around.
There are plans for the former governor to lay in the state capitol here later this week for the public to pay their respects, and the funeral plans are still in the works. He is survived by his 5 children and wife Trina. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Shannon. Before you go, we've seen a lot of reaction online. What are you hearing from state leaders now?
Yeah, every Louisiana politician has had something to say about the former governor. He was quite the character, so anyone who's met him has had a very special story to share, so it's been a lot of fun to read those on social media today.